Let me just post. Okay, we're at the bottom of Gimel Amid Beis, and we begin with the basic case we've been talking about the whole time, which is what? Which is our sukkah above 20 amos, our classical sukkah above 20 amos, which by now we know a lot about the sukkah above 20 amos. We know the machlekes Rav Yehuda and the Chachamim in the Mishnah. Sorry about that. We know the machlekes Rav Yehuda and the Chachamim in the Mishnah. We know all the sources for the machlekes. We know different amarayim that narrow down where exactly they're arguing about. We know that's about as much as we know about Lamala Me'aser Ma'amo. And we ended off with one last story with Hilmi, which proved at some level how far the machlekes went. So now we begin a new Gemara. Rav David, welcome. We just began Gimel and Beis. We're going to begin a new Gemara, 2 lines to the bottom. So we have this classical sukkah that's above 20 amos, and we just found out that according to Shitas Rav Yehuda, according to Shitas Chachamim, it's a problem. So what do you want to do? You want to fix your sukkah. So what do you want to do? And now you want to make the sukkah not so tall. Now how are you going to make the sukkah not so tall? Your sukkah is built already. So, what do? Says the Gemara, Bikarim ubiksasais. You go into your house, take out all the pillows and the blankets, and you pile the pillows and blankets on the floor of the sukkah. And now the inside of the sukkah is not going to be 20 amos. Says the Gemara, Loi have miyut. Rebelli. Such a sukkah is not kosher. Chaver here, this is Beis and Gimel for your viewing pleasure. Mirz Hashem, waiting on the first Shakla Vitaria. I don't know if it's called a contestant. The first Shakla Vitaria. I think Daf Beis. I'll say myself. I feel like I have Daf Beis. Hopefully Daf Gimel, after I finished doing the review last night, hopefully we'll have Daf Gimel by later tonight. Anyone else, please, let's post it. But for now, we're discussing in the bottom of Gimel and Beis. We began a new Gemara. We have a sukkah that's tall. Rav David, you want to grab the picture book behind you? I think there's some nice pictures over here. If you have a sukkah taller than 20, so what do you want to do? You want to lower it. So how do you lower it? So says the Gemara, let's say you take karim uksases, you take pillows and blankets. Here you go. You take pillows and blankets. No, you can't. I don't know if you can see that. You should be able to see that. I don't know what you guys are watching on, but there it is. You take pillows and blankets, and you load up the bottom of the sukkah. Says the Gemara, Loi have miyut. That doesn't work. What is the reason why that doesn't work? So let's all together, what would the Ilam say? Why doesn't it work? Mm-hmm.
The sukkah is still more than 20.
Good, say more. Why? Rashi's about to tell us, but it's a nice svar. Rashi says, let's be honest, you're not going to leave your pillows and blankets on the floor. Why not? I'm agreeing with you. You're saying Rashi does a job more. Why not? Because a hefsid. You don't want to ruin your pillows and blankets. It's a little bit interesting that Rashi says when they hefsid mammon. The first svar that Rashi said that you're not going to leave it there, that's a little bit balabatish. You won't leave it there. Now let's say, that which will be a fundamental shayla, what if someone doesn't care? But for now, it says the Gemara that it's no good. And we turn over to Dalit, well, we don't turn over. We look over to Dalit Amid Aleph. I have to get rid of a page in between. Yeah. It's like the article. You just got to keep it turning. Says the Gemara, and even if, as I was just speaking out, and even if you said, no, I'm a vatalit. These pillows and these blankets, I don't need it. I'm leaving it there for all 7 days. Says the Gemara, it doesn't work. Why not? Because you're weird. You happen to have lots of pillows and blankets, so you're not able to say, I have pillows and blankets, so I'm getting rid of them. It doesn't work. It's a pillow, it's a blanket, and your sukkah is puzzle. So says the Gemara, what else? Let's try something else. Teven. What happens if someone takes straw? Next picture. Yes. I think this one you could visualize just in case you can't. Basically, just straw inside a sukkah. Not so exciting. Let's say someone takes straw, teven, and you put into the sukkah ubitloi, and you say explicitly that I'm leaving this straw there for the entirety of Sukkot, have miot, then it works in your sukkah, it's kosher. The kol shekain, and certainly afar ubitloi. If you fill it up with dirt and you're mevatel it, certainly then it's going to work. So again, if I put in a straw and I say I'm not taking it away, or I put in, and certainly if I put in dirt and say I'm not going to take it away, then it's kosher. Says the Gemara, what if you have one of the two? What if you have teven? What if you put straw into the sukkah? Ve'ein asid lifanasai, and you don't plan on removing it. Lefanois. Fanois means to clean. You don't plan on removing it. What did you not do? You were not mivatal it. You did not say, I'm leaving it there. Meaning, which is probably the classical case. Let's say someone here was learning, and let's say it was Erev Sukkot, and he came home like, oh my gosh, my sukkah is too tall. So what do? You go find, well, I don't think we have straw, but you would go find some straw or whatnot, and you would just throw it in your sukkah. And if I were to ask you, and I were to say, are you going to get rid of that? You would say, of course not. I put it there for sukkahs. Says the Gemara, what if ein asal lefanasai, but you were not mivatala, you did not say that you're going to leave it there, or afar stam, or if you just placed afar, you just placed dirt in the sukkah, and you didn't say anything, and you don't know exactly what you plan on doing it, you don't have particular intent that you're going to remove it or not. What is the halacha? Machlokes Rav Yosi v'Rabbanan. This is a machlokes Rav Yosi v'Rabbanan. Okay, so now we don't know what the machlokes Rav Yosi v'Rabbanan is. We will see in a moment. But let's just get the dinim straight so far. If you take items, pillows, blankets, kalim, utensils, and you pile them up in your sukkah, what's the halacha? No good. Even if you say, I plan on leaving it there for the whole sukkahs, no good. Why is it no good? It's no good because at the end of the day, it's a pillow and a blanket, and you're not, whether the lumdis is that you're not going to actually do it, whether the lumdis is that no one else would do it, whatever the reason is, it's not normal to do that, and therefore, what's the halacha? It's no good. On the flip side, if you take straw, if you take dirt, and you put it on the floor, and you say explicitly, I'm leaving it there, that is good. And now we have a middle case. Those are the two bookends. Those are the two obvious, what's clearly good and clearly not good. And now we have a middle ground case. What happens if I just put down teven, straw, I put down afar, dirt, and I don't say anything? I plan on leaving it there, but I don't say anything. Says the Gemara, this is machlokes Rav Yosi and the Rabbanan. Let's see this machlokes Rav Yosi Rabbanan, a little bit of a difficult machlokes, but let's begin. Ditanan. We learned in a Mishnah. Bayis, we have a house. Shemalahu teven, that is filled with straw, oitz, or dirt. So what's going on in this house? What's going on in this house is that we have a dead body in the house. We have a mace in the house, or we have a part of a mace in the house. And the halacha is, if there is a tefach of airspace, and we actually slightly touched on this halacha, if you remember the second parak, when we spoke about the para aduma, we spoke about that they would purposely leave a tefach to contain the tumah inside that airspace. But that's where we learn that if there's a tefach inside the airspace, then what happens? Then the tumah travels throughout the whole house. If there's no tefach, then what happens? Then the tumah does not travel. So we have a house, and the person goes and he fills up the entire house with straw, or with rocks, or with dirt, and ubitzlai. And he says, I'm leaving this straw, I'm leaving this dirt in the house, as long as the dead body is there. What's the halacha? Mivutal. It's considered as if the straw and the dirt is there, and therefore there is no tefach in the house, and therefore the tumah does not, this is where the halachas of tumah get a little bit, got to twist your brain a little bit, does not stay contained inside the house. Rather, what happens? It shoots through the ceiling and goes up to heaven. Again, let's get this halacha. This is a little bit of counterintuitive. If I have a house, again, I have a house over here. There's a dead body in the house. What's the halacha? Let's say in this room. Let's just make it very simple. You're not a kohen, are you? No. Okay, Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. So, I mean, not Baruch Hashem, but I wouldn't want to, give an example that you'd have to run out for. So let's say in this room, we have a dead body. Rahman al-Islam. What would the halacha be? The halacha would be that the tumah would travel throughout the whole room, disperse, and everything in this room would be tummy. What about if you're standing on the roof? The halacha is, you're not tummy. Why? Because the roof blocks it. The roof blocks it. This was the halacha. If you remember, we learned about the beams of the house, the beams of the sukkah goes up and down, it blocks. Okay, let's not get complicated. Let's say there is no airspace in this house. This whole room is filled up with dirt. Now, the tumah does not travel throughout the whole room. Why not? Because there's no room, there's no airspace. Rather, what happens? Now, the tumah shoots through the ceiling and it goes all the way to heaven. So anyone who would be directly on top of the tumah, he would be tummy. So now, what happens is, I have this room and I have a dead body in the room and I want to make sure, well, why he did this is irrelevant at the moment. And he goes and he fills up the whole room with rocks and with stones and he's mevatel it there. The halacha is that there is no airspace and therefore the tumah does not stay contained inside the room, rather it goes up until heaven. Says the Gemara, what do we see from this brisa? Bit loyin. Only if you explicitly said that the rocks and the dirt are mivatel, are nullified, that's when they're considered that they're there, and that's when it plugs up the area, and that's when the tumah would not stay there. Loy bit loy, but if you did not, then what? Loy. It would not work. Why would it not work? Because if you did not explicitly say that I'm leaving it there, we assume you're going to take it away. So part A, we're actually going to run out of time right now. We're going to run out of time. Let's just learn a drop more. V'tani Allah, and we learned on this brisa. Rabbi Yosi Omer says, Rabbi Yosi, Teven, if you fill it with straw, ve'ein osilifa nasai, and you don't plan on removing it, even if what? You were not mivatalin, you did not nullify it explicitly. Hareho ke'afar stam. And batal, and it's going to be batal. Afar, if you have dirt, and asilifa nasai is like stam teved and loy batal. So without getting complicated at the end over here, there's a machlekes here of Yosi and the Tanakama. Rabbi Yosi says, let's just talk about the case of straw. If I have straw and I don't plan on removing it, that is enough. And then it's considered that it stays there. So what does that have to do with our case? In our case of our sukkah, if I have my sukkah and I put the straw inside, and I don't plan on removing it, but I was not mivatel it, I did not say that I'm going to keep it there, it's going to be machlekes Rabbi Yosi and the Tanakama. The Tanakama is going to say it's only considered staying there if what? If you said it explicitly. And Rav Yossi is going to say intent is going to be enough. And that's going to be the din in our Mishnah. Let's just show one more picture over here. This is a picture of a house filled with straw. I don't think we needed this picture. I think we all were able to conceptualize that. But that is the house filled with straw. It says the Gemara, so the machlekes, if you didn't mavatel explicitly, it would be machlekes Yossi and Tanakama. Siyat Ishmael will pick up from here. I have no clue when. I know Sunday is Erev Yom Kippur, Monday is Yom Kippur. I guess maybe we'll continue Tuesday, Wednesday. Can hurt. Siyata de Ishmael. Oh, what does that mean? Baruch Hashem.